We have developed speed, but we have shut ourselves in. Machinery that gives abundance has left us in want. We think too much and feel too little. More than machinery, we need humanity.
We know the air is unfit to breathe and our food is unfit to eat. As if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy.
Silence! The great and powerful Oz knows why you have come.
You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it! My life has value.
You have meddled with the primal forces of nature.
Don't give yourselves to brutes, men who despise you, enslave you, who regiment your lives, tell you what to do, what to think, or what to feel, who drill you, diet you, treat you like cattle, use you as cannon fodder. Don't give yourselves to these unnatural men with machine minds and machine hearts.
And now, Reality Rants with Jason Bermas.
And who loves you? And who do you love?
Hey everybody, Jason Bermas here, and I'm just asking questions. And the question of the day is, are we finally going to see an end to the insanity going on via Ukraine, Russia, NATO, and that entire bloc within Europe that is trying to push NATO madness, globalization, and really, unfortunately, conflict for profit that has eviscerated and devastated countless lives. I mean, we're not talking tens of thousands. We're probably not talking hundreds of thousands. At this point, we're probably talking about millions of people in this conflict maimed and murdered. Maimed and murdered. And many of them teenagers. Okay? And that's where I really want to begin with this video, because I want to make it really clear. This is not about being a Trump cheerleader. This is about acknowledging the fact that life is a very important and precious thing, no matter what language you speak, what region you are from, what color your skin is. All things I don't care about. Okay? Now, on one level, I, as a human being, have massive empathy for these people, as we all should, but I also acknowledge how dangerous this conflict is for me and mine, not just on an existential level. And quite frankly, after what happened today, I would say that the big danger is not what Trump and Vance did, although the mainstream media are going to try to spin it that way. Okay, for daring to say what was necessary in a firm tone, okay, and quite frankly, in my opinion, way more of a respectful manner than should be deserved. I realize this is the Oval Office. I realize this is the White House. You know, one of the questions earlier in this press conference, and we're going to play the big 11 minutes. People should know this thing went on for about 45, 50 minutes total. Okay, so it's like on C-SPAN if you want to watch the full thing, where the tone was much different, but Zelensky was defiant the entire time. And it didn't seem like he was there to negotiate. Period. And if he's not there to negotiate, he's there to continue this war where people are being slaughtered. Okay? So if all of a sudden there's a little bit of tough talk, quite frankly, I wouldn't have mind hearing some obscenities. Because no matter what language you use, it can never be as obscene as what has happened in that region, okay? And really, when I play this clip, I'm probably going to interrupt it very, very few times, which is usually not my style. An 11-minute like this, clip like this, we could probably do an hour-long video on. It's that big. It's that good, in my opinion. All right? And once again, quite frankly, just so everybody knows, I wish this is how he was handling the Israeli-Palestinian situation. Okay? Now, I was quite disturbed the other day when Trump put out that AI video. Somebody else made it, but he put it out on social media of him and Bibi and Elon partying it up in the new Gaza. Just, again, taking regions. That's the wrong way. Me no likey thatty. Me lovey thisy. Okay? And again, that's going to be too nuanced for some people. But the bottom line is, once again, anything that moves us away from the precipice of global conflict, of World War III, I'm all for. Now, again, I think there's a great danger after this of some type of a false flag. But a lot of people are stepping in line. Okay? So, before we get into this, I do want to address the Epstein stuff and where I've been like the last week and a half. If you can't hear it in my throat, it's been really hard. I still have a lozenge in right now. It's been hard enough for me to do the Making Sense of the Madness shows without just coughing all over the place. I knew that the Epstein stuff wasn't going to be anything. I actually went on a Mario Nafal space yesterday as everything was breaking and trying to explain to them that none of this was going to be new and it was all going to be old, and trying to explain to them there is no client list. That's a video we're going to try to do this weekend. We're going to try to finally do an Ask Me Anything all about the Epstein case. It's going to be tough after this. I'm running my nieces around tomorrow. I've got a tournament about an hour away, so I'll be gone most of the day. But we're going to try to get that in this weekend. There's a bunch of videos that I have been able to post on YouTube that are on Rumble, that are on Rockfin, that are on band.video. So please check them out as well. We're about to get to the Trump deal, okay? But I do need your support. $5, $10, $15, big donors. Thank you so much. Other than the buy me a coffee, we've got crypto addresses. We've got PayPal down there. Please check that out. Now, once again, I want to reiterate this, and we're going to read this post from somebody who did watch all 50 minutes. Okay, you go check this out right now. I'm a big fan, as you guys know, of source material, right? We like it from the source. And that's why I'm so glad that this stuff is being transparent and out in public. We don't need the speculation. Let's see how this is going. It's a government of and for the people. Okay, so I'm going to read this. Now, this is for somebody that has been a supporter of Zelensky. I want to make that extremely clear. I'm going to read it all the way down. Okay? I watched the entire press conference with Zelensky. There was 40 minutes of discussion up to the argument. Most people saw at most the last 10 minutes. The whole video gives the proper context. When I first watched the argument without the proper context, I thought it was possible that Trump and Vance ambushed Zelensky or were even trying to humiliate him. That is not what happened. You had 40 minutes of calm conversation. Vance made a point that didn't attack Zelensky and wasn't even addressed to him. And Zelensky clearly started the argument. In the first 40 minutes, Zelensky kept trying, to go beyond what was negotiated in the deal. When Trump was asked a question, it was always, "We'll see." Zelensky made blanket assertions that there would be no negotiating with Putin and that Russia would pay for the war. When Trump said that it was a tragedy and that people on both sides were dying, Zelensky interjected that the Russians were the invaders. Pardon me. For his part, Trump made clear that the U.S. would continue delivering military aid. All Zelensky had to do was remain calm for a few more minutes, and they would have signed the deal. And quite frankly, folks, I'm pretty glad that didn't happen. This is what the American people want. All right? The ones that are paying attention. The ones that don't buy into blanket propaganda for bombs to be dropped on people. Okay? We don't like war. And especially war that is not justified, which this is completely is not. Okay? Period. The argument started when Trump pointed out that it would be hard to make a deal if you talk about Putin the way Zelensky does. Vance interjected to make a reasonable point that Biden called Putin names, and that didn't get us anywhere. Yes, he did. That's actually where this video is going to start when we play it. By the way, thumbs it up, subscribe, and share, everybody. We could always use that support. By the way, never getting monetized on YouTube, I guess. That was denied outright, as we expected. Just want to put that out there. The Zelensky-Trump dynamic was calm and stable. It was when Vance spoke that Zelensky started to interrogate him. Throughout the press conference to that point, everyone was making their arguments directly to the audience. Zelensky decided to challenge Vance and ask him hostile questions. He went back to his point that Putin never sticks to ceasefires, once again implying that negotiations are pointless. Why on earth would you do this? Then came the fight we all saw. Because this guy, listen, this guy is a puppet. He knows that he is not allowed to concede. When you watch this, he continues to bring up 2014, 2015, etc. Guess what? That's when the CIA got involved. Okay? We can't just wash our hands of this. And this is that permanent state, that permanent intelligence bureaucracy that supersedes administrations. That, look, again, some of the rhetoric that Trump wasn't able to deliver on was that this was going to end before he even got into office. And hey, I'm not mad at this guy. We're what, 39 days in? And he's trying everything. And this guy, who is an actor and a puppet, and somebody they literally trained like a dog over the last several years to mimic American action heroes and dress up like Rambo and learn the language. This guy comes out and basically throws a wrench in everything and says he's going to dictate the terms. And when Trump tells him he doesn't have any cards to play, he acts like this isn't a card game. Well, you're damn right it's not a card game. It's not a game at all. It's a war that is killing people daily and dangerous for the global stability of the world. I mean, my God. When you watch this video, this is what people want. All right, let's finish up what this guy had to say right here. I mean, my goodness. He was minutes away from being home free and would have had the deal and the new commitments from the Trump administration. The point Vance made was directed against Biden and the media, taking them to task for speaking in moralistic terms. This offended Zelensky, and that began the argument. I've been a fan. This guy's been a fan of Zelensky. Okay, he's been a fan of Zelensky up until this point. But this showed so much incompetence, if not emotional instability, that I don't see how he recovers from this. The relationship with the administration is broken. Ukraine should probably go with new leadership at this point. And that's just, that's just some of the talking points. Even Lindsey Graham, Mr. Warmonger, or should I say Mrs. Warmonger? Oh, are we allowed to say it in 2025? He dropped Zelensky today. He dropped Zelensky. Now, I've watched all 11 minutes of this, and if you guys haven't seen it, you are in for a treat. I'm not tempted to. I'm going to mute my mic. I'm going to play the entire 11 minutes, and then I'm going to make commentary, because otherwise I'm going to end up stopping this thing every 2 or 3 minutes, because it's just so hard not to make commentary on it, but we're going to do that. We're going to play it in full. Remember, this is the end of this thing. And then we're going to talk about the high points. And again, I'm going to make the point that no language whatsoever can be stern, harsh, forward, and raw enough, okay, when we are talking about literal life and death on this scale. So here we go. Let's do it. Here is Trumsky and Hutch.
For good. Do you, and now I'm talking with my friends in Poland, and they are worried that you align yourself too much with Putin. What's your message for them?
Well, if I didn't align myself with both of them, you'd never have a deal. You want me to say really terrible things about Putin and then say, "Hi, Vladimir, how are we doing on the deal?" That doesn't work that way. I'm not aligned with Putin. I'm not aligned with anybody. I'm aligned with the United States of America and for the good of the world. I'm aligned with the world, and I want to get this thing over with. You see the hatred he's got for Putin. It's very tough for me to make a deal with that kind of hate. He's got tremendous hatred, and I understand that, but I can tell you the other side isn't exactly in love with, him either. So it's not a question of alignment. I'm aligned with the world. I want to get the thing set. I'm aligned with Europe. I want to see if we can get this thing done. You want me to be tough? I could be tougher than any human being you've ever seen. I'd be so tough. But you're never going to get a deal that way. So that's the way it goes. All right, one more question.
I want to respond to this. So look, for 4 years in the United States of America, we had a president who stood up at press conferences and talked tough about Vladimir Putin, and then Putin invaded Ukraine and destroyed a significant chunk of the country. The path to peace and the path to prosperity is maybe engaging in diplomacy. We tried the pathway of Joe Biden of thumping our chest and pretending that the President of the United States' words mattered more than the President of the United States' actions. What makes America a good country is America engaging in diplomacy. That's what President Trump is doing.
Can I ask you?
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So he occupied our parts, big parts of Ukraine, part of East and Crimea. So he occupied it on 2014. So during a lot of years, so I'm not speaking about just Biden, but those time was Obama, then President Obama, then President Trump, then President Biden, now the President Trump, and God bless, now President Trump will stop him. But during 2014, nobody stopped him. He just occupied and took. He killed people. You know what the contact line?
2015.
2014.
2014 and 2015.
2014.
Yeah. So
I was not here.
Yeah, but
that's exactly right.
Yes, but during 2014 till 2022, the situation the same. The people have been dying on the contact line. Nobody stopped him. You know that we had conversations with him, a lot of conversation, my bilateral conversation, and we signed with him, me, like a new president. In 2019, I signed with him the deal. I signed with him, Macron and Merkel, we signed ceasefire. Ceasefire. All of them told me that he will never go. We signed him with gas contract. Yes, but after that, he broken this ceasefire. He killed our people and he didn't exchange prisoners. We signed the exchange of prisoners, but he didn't do it. What kind of diplomacy, JD, you are speaking about? What do you mean?
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the president for trying to bring an end to this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to.
Count one.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems bringing people into your military?
We have
And do you think that it's
I will
respectful
answer.
to come to the Oval Office
I
of the
will
United
answer.
States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless.
You don't know
God
that.
bless. You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because
I'm
you're in no
answering on this
position to
question.
dictate that.
That's
Remember
exactly what
this.
you're doing.
You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel. We're going to feel very good.
You will feel influence.
We're going to feel very good and very strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad position, and he happens to be right about it.
From the very beginning of the war.
You're not in a good position. You don't have the
the
cards right now. With us, you start having
not
cards.
playing
But
cards.
right now, you don't.
I'm very
You're playing
serious,
cards.
Mr. President.
You're
I'm
playing
very
cards.
serious.
You're
I'm
gambling
the
with the
president
lives
in
of
war.
millions of people.
You think-
You're gambling with World War III.
What do you
You're
think about?
gambling with
What do you
World
think
War
about?
III. And
You-
what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country. That's
with
back
all
to you.
respect to your
Far
country.
more than a lot of people said
very
they
respect.
should have.
Have you said thank you once this
A lot
entire
of
meeting?
times.
No, in this
Even
entire meeting, have
today.
you said thank
Even
you?
today.
You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation for
what-
the United States
what
of
are you speaking
America
about?
and the president who's trying to save your country.
Please, you think that if you will speak very loudly about the war, you
He's
can...
not speaking loudly. He's not
Yeah.
speaking loudly. Your country is
Can I-
in big
can-
trouble.
can I
Wait a
answer?
minute. No,
Can
you've
I
done a lot
answer?
of talking. Your country is in big trouble.
I know.
You're not
I
winning.
know.
You're not winning this.
I...
You have a damn
We-
good chance of
we are
coming out
staying-
okay because of
Mr.
us.
President, we are staying in our country, staying strong from the very beginning of the war. We've been alone, and we are thankful. I said thanks
You haven't
in
been
this
alone.
cabinet,
You
and
haven't
not
been
only
alone.
in this
We
cabinet.
gave you, through
I
this
said thank
stupid
you.
president, $350 billion.
You voted
We gave
for
you
your
military
president.
equipment,
You
and you
voted
men
for
are
your
brave,
president.
but they had to use our military.
Yes. What about
if,
West
if
speaking?
you didn't have
You
our
invited
military
me-
equipment,
you invited
if
me
you
to
didn't
speak.
have our military equipment, this war would have been over in 2 weeks.
In 3
okay?
days, I heard it from Putin. In 3 days, this is something
Maybe
new.
less.
In 2 weeks, of course he has.
It's going to be a very hard thing to do business like this. I tell you.
Just say thank you.
I said a lot of
except
times
that
thank
there,
you
except
to
that,
American people.
except that there are disagreements, and let's go litigate those disagreements rather than trying to fight it out in the American media when you're wrong. We know that you're wrong.
But you see, I think it's good for the American people to see what's going on
I
over
understand,
there.
sir.
I think it's
I
very
understand.
important. That's why I kept this going so long. You have to be thankful. You don't have the
I'm
cards.
thankful.
You're buried there. Your people are dying.
tell you
You're
again,
running
I
low
know.
on soldiers.
Don't-
Listen,
don't, please,
you're running
Mr.
low on
President.
soldiers. It would be a damn good thing.
Mr.
And then
President.
then you tell us, I don't want a ceasefire. I don't want a ceasefire. I want to go and I wanted this. Look, if you could get a ceasefire right now, I tell you, you take it so the bullets stop flying and your men stop getting killed.
Of course, we want to stop the war.
But
But
you're
I
saying
said,
you don't want a ceasefire.
But I said to you,
I want a ceasefire.
with guarantees.
Because you'll get a ceasefire faster than an agreement.
Ask our people about ceasefire, what they think.
That wasn't
doesn't
with
matter
me.
for you what-
that
what
wasn't
this
with me.
means. It
That was with
wasn't with
a
you.
guy named Biden, who was not a smart person.
But this
That
is
was
your,
with,
this
that was
is
with
your
Obama.
president. It was your president.
Excuse me. That was with Obama, who gave you sheets, and I gave you javelins.
Yes.
I gave you the javelins to take out all those tanks. Obama gave you sheets. In fact, the statement is Obama gave sheets and Trump gave javelins. You got to be more thankful, because let me tell you, you don't have the cards. With us, you have the cards. But without us, you don't have any cards.
One more question to Mr. Vice President. I'm sorry, here.
It'll be a tough deal to make,
Um,
because the attitudes have to change.
what if Russia breaks ceasefire? What if Russia breaks peace talks? What do you do then? I understand that it's a heated conversation right now.
What are you
but
saying?
what if
She's asking, what if Russia
Putin
breaks the
breaks
ceasefire?
for the
What if anything? What if a bomb drops on your head right now?
But they have
Okay?
broken
What if they
ceasefire.
broke it? I don't know. They broke it with Biden because Biden, they didn't respect him. They didn't respect Obama. They respect me.
But all-
Let me tell you, Putin went through a hell of a lot with me. He went through a phony witch hunt where they used him and Russia. Russia. You ever hear of that deal? That was a phony Hunter Biden Joe Biden scam. Hillary Clinton, Shifty Adam Schiff. It was a Democrat scam. And he had to go through that. And he did go through it. We didn't end up in a war. And he went through it. He was accused of all that stuff. He had nothing to do with it. It came out of Hunter Biden's bathroom. It came out of Hunter Biden's bedroom. It was disgusting. And then they said, oh, the laptop from hell was made by Russia. The 51 agents. The whole thing was a scam. And he had to put up with that. He was being accused of all that stuff. All I can say is this. He might have broken deals with Obama and Bush, and he might have broken them with Biden. He did, maybe. Maybe he didn't. I don't know what happened. But he didn't break them with me. He wants to make a deal. I don't know if you can make a deal. The problem is, I've empowered you to be a tough guy. And I don't think you'd be a tough guy without the United States. And your people are very brave. But you're either going to make a deal or we're out. And if we're out, you'll fight it out. I don't think it's going to be pretty, but you'll fight it out. But you don't have the cards. But once we sign that deal, you're in a much better position. But you're not acting at all thankful. And that's not a nice thing. I'll be honest, that's not a nice thing. All right, I think we've seen enough. What do you think? Huh? This is going to be great television, I will say that. All right, we'll see what we can do about putting it together. Thank you. Guys, let's go. Guys, come on, let's go. We'll see, I don't know. All right, guys, come on. Wait, hey, come on.
I did it. And, I'm reading the comments in there and people acting like this isn't real. It's as real as it gets. Some people said this is embarrassing. Nothing embarrassing about it. It's what needed to be said to this puppet that is getting people killed every day. Every single day. And think about the talking point he used about the ocean. You have this nice ocean. It could come to coast. I'm so glad Trump stepped in there. Because you know what? That's the same bullshit talking point I kept hearing during the War of Terror. Oh, it's coming here. It's coming here. Every time it's come here, the fingerprints, okay, of government agents, assets, and their intel communities across the world that are supposed to be their allies have their damn fingerprints all over it. All over it. And I'm sorry, if you watched that, okay, and you couldn't feel the real, if you watched that and you thought Zelensky did a good job, are you insane? I mean, you must be totally out there brainwashed. Here Trump is putting it into perspective that if the United States isn't there, the meat grinder ends. It ends quick. And guess what? Then Russia takes what it wants. Because a NATO without the United States, okay, and its support militarily and financially ain't going to work out so great for these people. So I'm going to say it again. I liked everything that Trump had to say in there. And I can't reiterate it enough that I only wish this was the type of policy that he would be going in via the Middle East and the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Because who knows, maybe this is the final nail in the coffin. A lot of people are going to call for Zelensky to step down after this. I think he's played tough guy too long, and I love that. He's like, we put you in the position to be the tough guy. Guys, he's 5'0", 100 and nothing. He's not a great military or political leader. Give me a break. All right. I'm going to let the emotion subside. I'm going to ask one more time for you to thumbs it up, subscribe, share. Check out all the documentary films, obviously here in my throat. We're going to try to go live again over the weekend. We're definitely going to be posting a bunch of Making Sense of the Madness videos They won't be able to post it, some of them, on YouTube. Obviously, again, denied the ability to make money here. Not going to be monetized. What can you do? Need your support. $5, $10, $15, big donors. There's other links down below. And I do want to remind you to follow me on X, where, again, it's not like I get a fair shake there. It's not like I can monetize my content there. But there are a lot of stories, especially when I go on little, dry spells, of things that we don't necessarily always get to cover here or even cover on Making Sense of the Madness. So follow me there as well. You know the drill, guys. It is not about left or right to this guy. It's always about right and wrong. I absolutely love you, and we'll see you on the flip side.